Good evening, everyone. It is Wednesday night, the 2nd of June. We've turned one corner at least into a new month, but sadly not the corner we wanted to turn with today's news, but we'll touch on that a little bit later. It's not going to be a somber night, that's for sure. We've got a great special guest, and we really look forward to bringing you this show. It's episode 37 of So What's Been Happening. Cuz, how are we, mate? Good to see you again.
G'day, Az. You too, mate. It's been a big week. We're on to our third one for the week, and one to come on Sunday as well. So, look, as you said, didn't quite get the information we wanted to get today, but it's only one more week, and hopefully it'll go quicker than what it has gone so far, and we get through it pretty quickly.
Yeah, well, as you know, so long ago now, this started as a 1 week lockdown episode, and it was one more week, more week. And there was no steak knives at the end for any of us. But the good part is we got to get out for a little while at least. But I don't know, Cuz, let's just touch on your thoughts on the latest announcement. Is it the right call? What do we do? Is it overreaction? You're damned and you do and damned if you don't. But where do we go from here?
Look, I think now they're doing the right thing, but the question's got to be asked, what happened previously? How does the big lockdown that we had before, how does someone go from South Australia and then get into here, and then it seems to go pear-shaped when it gets to here? So, and I'm not saying that to blame South Australia, but this doesn't seem to be checks and balances, and whether it's from a federal point of view or a state point of view, all they do is point the fingers at each other, but it's the rank and file like you and I and our friends who are musos or entertainers or business people who suffer.
Yeah, well, I think it's kind of time the politicians pulled their heads out of where they shouldn't be and all got together and had a bit of a united front on this one and not just teed off on each other. New South Wales teed off on us, so we've kindly sent them up a case. So they've gone a positive from Melbourne. So they be careful what they wished for, I guess. But look, the sad part is exactly what we discussed. Once again, musos locked down, pubs locked down. If you got a landscaping business, you're on fire again. You get to start again tomorrow, but might be a few landscaping businesses getting registered. I reckon you could register one, Cuz. You could go out and mow a few back lawns.
Landscaping, painting. Painters, that's you're allowed to paint now. They say painting's an outdoor job.
No,
but look, I think that's the hardest thing is people. I think people don't mind the fact they're in lockdown. I don't think it's like anything. People have a fear and a great fear of the unknown. And I think, unfortunately, still, whether it's from a state or a federal perspective, there's no end game, so to speak. There's measures that are being taken, but people want that, okay, we're going to do this, so at the end, this will be done. But no one can give that sort of definitive answer, I suppose.
Yeah, well, I think the word of not long ago was pivot. And if you didn't pivot during lockdown, you were done.
True.
Now I think the magic word has become mystery and mystery case. Oh. And that's going to be the new one, mate. The second it's a mystery, maybe we should call in Scooby-Doo and Shaggy and get the magical mystery bus.
Mystery bus going.
And we might get our special guest to join us in that bus and do a road trip of regional Melbourne, because that's about right. As far as we're allowed to go at the moment. But geez, it'd be nice to be out there regionally again.
Well, people who you would never have heard of 12 months ago, we now know them intimately. Jerome, the head of skip tracing, I see him every night on the news, and Brett Sutton. They've become like to us, you and I, as footy and sport fans, like Michael Jordan and Ron Barassi. They're that well known. Brett Sutton. Everyone knows who he is.
Well, I think whoever would have known the term genomic sequencing, right, wouldn't have had a clue, mate. The only sequence I was in was at left hand or right hand for the next shout and with the beer. Yeah. So I had no idea, mate. But anyway, we could talk forever, but we're not here to talk. We're here to talk to our next guest, which is an absolute superstar. A lot of people might not know this guy, but I can tell you by the end of this little episode, you're going to know him. You're going to know him well. Another man with two first names, Mr.
I love it.
Mitch Dean. How are you, Mitch?
G'day, boys. Really good.
G'day, Mitch.
Welcome,
Welcome aboard, mate.
I'm like, when you said superstar, I'm like, you sure,
No,
you sure it's me? What are you talking about?
It's you,
No,
mate.
my
It's you.
word, it's you. My word, it's you, mate. Thanks for joining us, Mitch.
No, this is really good. No, very good. When do we talk about the footy?
Well, we can start with that.
Well, we
Absolutely,
can start with
mate.
that if you like.
What we normally start off with is show episode number 37. Here's a question for you. Have you got a famous number 37? We're starting to get up there in numbers now. It's getting harder.
No, I don't. Not off the top of my head. No.
Righto. Let's start with which team are you?
Bombers.
Oh, another bomber. Jeez, we've lucked it with 3 bomber guys.
Come on, we're up. We're all of a sudden we're up and about. It's all right.
Absolutely top of the shelf you've gone to, Mitch. Absolutely fantastic.
You'll be welcome back, I'm sure, mate. There's plenty of Bombers fans in amongst both our fans and also on the show here with Cuz and who is yet to join us. Lovey, if he decides to grace us with his presence.
He's a bomber too.
Is he? Oh, well, we're in good company. Nice fun.
We are.
Yep.
So, as I said, welcome, Mitch. But episode 37, it's been more than 12 months we've been doing this now, and it was never supposed to go past episode 1, just to let you know. And the point of episode 1 was obviously during that very first lockdown, we'd go for a walk. The 1 hour of prison time, we were allowed to get out and walk around the streets. Glenn and I live fairly close to each other, and we'd go for a walk and we'd ask about, how our mates were going. And we decided one day everyone was kind of done with the Zoom chats, and we decided just to jump on live on Facebook and see who jumped on and had a chat. And next minute we were talking to friends and family and all sorts of people from around the world. And we were lucky enough to have our first music guest who was actually with us on last night as well, Ryan Sterling. And it kind of snowballed from there, and we forgot how many musos we knew or were connected to or referred onto. And it's been pretty much a music guest for most shows. So welcome amazing. To keeping that floater going.
Oh, I like I was telling you before, I didn't know you guys were out there doing this, but I'm really glad I've stumbled upon it. Listening to guys like Ash Naylor and Luke Sinclair and that, amazing. So that was a really cool find, and I think we need to spread the word so everyone else can go and have a look too and check it out. It's really good. Cheers,
we will do that. And a quick shout out to Luke with his new album, Heavy Dreams.
Oh, let's
have a beer then.
All right.
Beautiful.
The beer of choice for tonight, the quick Belter IPA. So
Belter. Feel
free to indulge, but obviously drink responsibly, as we say.
Some of us don't have too much to do tomorrow. So.
Yeah, correct. Someone said to me, we actually got out for a gig it was Sunday before last, and we went to the Brunswick Ballroom, which is the old Spotted Mallard that's been redone. So it's a fantastic venue now. And we saw the Marshmallow Overcoat, which is Davey Lane, Ash Naylor and Brent Wolferton together playing 60s and 70s rock. Fantastic covers. So that was great. And we did that from a birthday, and a few mates said to me, mate, you got nothing to do for a few weeks. Lockdown's coming. You got a 7-day hangover coming up. So we might as well get into it. So it was a good impromptu Sunday afternoon session before the lockdown.
Yep.
Nice. Let's just start with a quick one with you, Mitch. When your first memory of when music sort of gripped you, what age were you, and do you remember what it was?
You know what? I was probably discovering my mum and dad's old little 45s, rated the record collection, probably like everybody, and just spinning those. They're just singles, obviously, A and B side, and I don't know. I think I got through all of those, and just one band was better than all the rest, and that was the Beatles. And so then I took off from there, and then found the rest of the album collection, and off we went from there. So I was probably like, I don't know, 7, 8 years old, around there.
So fair to say your parents had good taste anyway.
Yeah, I reckon they did too. Yeah.
Not a bad way to start your music listening with better than Humphrey Bear anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yep. So and from there it was I don't know, I reckon I was stuck in Beatle world till I was about 15.
Yep.
And I didn't realize much else existed until then. And, finally, I think the world of rock and roll and hard rock and everything sort of finally arrived in my ears. And, and then it sort of all changed after that and ended up, in a garage rock band doing the usual way that musos probably start and playing music far too loud in their dad's shed. And
Perfect.
Yeah.
So apart from the Beatles, mate, obviously early on, then as you said, got into your sort of mid-teens and that, what sort of other influences then? Was it sort of your mum and dad's collection, or was it what you heard on the radio? Like,
yeah,
what did you sort of align yourself to? Was there a certain type of music or artist?
Oh, look, I went through probably a little bit of a real heavy music phase, but then I came out of that and probably grabbed, I reckon where I had a big change again was maybe latching onto the Black Crowes in my early, late teens, early 20s. And from there, I was into them, crazy into them. And well, that sort of probably culminated with a change in band too. So I was in a pub rock band from sort of 17, 18 years old through to my mid-20s. And we'd play all around the peninsula and into the city, places like the Tote and all those sort of places that. And then I ended up in a country rock band. So that the pub rock band finished and I was grabbed by some slightly older guys who are, much more accomplished musicians than me, and pulled me into their country rock band. And, and then I think my taste changed even again. So there was just eyes and ears opened up to a whole new world of music and influences. And, within a year, we were going to Tamworth and all of a sudden it was just like, whoa, what's this all about? And seeing the cream of Australian musicians in every pub and it was like a mind-blowing experience. Just for me, I was fathoms off what all these other amazing musicians were and it was a real baptism of fire. And I think I spent the next 5-6 years just scratching to catch up, to try and get to a level where I felt like I was contributing properly. Because it's going from a little pub rock band on the peninsula all of a sudden to being on the other side of us, around Australia and seeing what was out there. It was head spin. It was pretty full on.
Yeah, big eye opener, I'm sure.
Yep.
All right, let's kick off with a song, mate, if you don't mind, and then we'll have another chat not long after that.
Yeah, all right. Well, I don't think I've ever done a live song like this. So,
okay, beautiful.
This is my first time giving it a bell. I guess it's just like being on a stage where if you stuff up, everyone gets to see it.
That's all right. That's why we're live.
Yeah. This is off my new album. My first little single that I released off it called Face in a Long Line. It's just sort of a song I based on a town that relies on a sole business to, everyone say I don't know what you might imagine, like the Ford factory in Geelong or something. And then that factory goes away and everyone's sort of stuck with nothing, no work or that sort of thing. So, yeah, anyway, we'll give it a crack. There's a picket line on the lawn, family screaming, lives are torn. There's nowhere left to go, along with everyone you know. Rumors turn to tears, nightly news relays to fears. Now who can hold the torch? Who can stand and keep watch? Now I don't know what to say this time. I'm just a face in a long, long, long line. Now who's to say we're doing fine. You know it never was in us to call it time. So many had stood tall. They spent years inside those walls. Now the gates are all locked down with the heart of this town. Now should we've seen the move, those who knew were hiding clues. There were those who wouldn't leave, those who refused to believe. Now I don't know what to say this time. I'm just a face in a long, long, long line. Now who's to say we'll be doing fine? You know it never was in us to call it time. Page one was holding true. A week later, just old news. If there's one thing I found, this world, it keeps spinning round. Some are staring at the stars, some are moving, packing cars. There were those who wouldn't leave, those who refused to believe. Now I don't know what to say this time. I'm just a face in a long, long, long line. Now who's to say we'll be doing fine? You know it never was in us to call it time. You know it never was in us to call it time. There you go.
Excellent, mate. Absolutely fantastic.
Fantastic, mate.
That was my first live stream. Yes.
Very good, mate. Very good.
Got through. There we go.
You sure did, mate. If that's a testament to anything else we're going to see or hear tonight, that's an awesome start, mate.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
Mate, I'm really intrigued by your song lyrics and songwriting, mate. I've read a fair bit of those lyrics in some of that, especially your latest stuff that's come out, and
Yep.
mate, it's fantastic. Great storytelling, obviously, and that's not easy as a songwriter. What's sort of your process, mate? How do you go about it, writing a song?
Probably like what I said before, with the whole musicality, trying to catch up. I always felt like maybe my songwriting was maybe my, the strongest string to my bow, and that's what I've sort of really tried to hone in on, I guess, to be a contributor also in the country rock band I'm in, which I will touch on, I guess, hopefully in a minute. But yeah, so I don't know. Are you just trying to say where I get some of that stuff from, or?
Not only the inspiration, but what's the process really for you in writing a song? And obviously, before some people it potentially is the guitar and stuff that comes first, and the lyrics come later. And is that different for you on different songs and different albums, or have you kind of got a bit of a process you go through?
Probably all the songs on Holding Back The Levee and stuff are the music and the melody would come first, and then I'd fit the lyrics in later on. Although I've just sort of finished a whole bunch of songs that I've given to the country rock band The Distance, and that was a concept. We decided to do a concept album, and so the themes and the words were sort of came. So that was a bit different than what I've ever done before. But yeah, for most of my life, it's just been sitting in a guitar noodling, and you just something would pop in your head and you chase that. So like that song that I just wrote there, that sung there. I think I was playing a Tom Petty song, and I can tell you the Tom Petty song that I was playing. And I think I was just mucking around with different variations of chords, and then a melody would pop up, and I don't know, I'd write different lines down. And so like maybe I wrote the line in the chorus, I don't know what to say this time, I'm just a face in a long, long line. And then it's like, what's this about? Where can I take this? And so then I try and find a story off that. One of the songs I was going to play later called His Father's Gun. I'd actually written 2 lines. The first 2 lines in the song, holding, what is it? Anyway, I forget the 2 words. But yeah, I don't know, like I was strumming the guitar, and then those 2 lines said, they were a bit ambiguous, but then I built the story. You sort of, I don't know, that's what I really find the most rewarding part, is that when you have that little moment where you go, oh, I've got it. And you know that you've got a little story or something that's different than you've heard before. And that's what excites me. And that's what I keep probably chasing with my songwriting. Just that little moment of, that little spark. And you go, I haven't heard that before, or you think it's original, and you chase that little story or that line. And that's what keeps me coming back, I think.
Sure. Do you ever get feedback from people about your songwriting that have that classic, they thought this song was about something else, and it's completely different and just meant something to them in their environment or with their place, and then all of a sudden it's like, mate, I didn't even think of it like that. But when you go back and looked at it later and thought, I suppose it could be interpreted like that.
You know what? Not really. I don't know whether a lot of my songs maybe they're not ambiguous enough. Maybe, there's always those good songwriters don't quite give you enough. Maybe I give too much. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Well, to me, that's the complete story then. But let's bring on Late Night Lovey. How are you, Lovey? Welcome, mate.
Hey guys,
have a look at you.
Nothing like that. 20 minutes late to a gig, mate. You've just missed the first song.
Oh, look, it's just a case of, the good stuff's yet to come. It gets even better, I'm sure.
Yeah, very
Mitch,
much.
how are you? Nice to meet you.
Al, this is
Mitch Alan, I noticed on your previous shows you were called Love Gun, and I like that.
Yeah, look. I figured, the actual name itself's a touch boring. Just there's 8 letters covering 2 names. It's pretty short. So I figured if I try to just blend in a song or an album with the word love in it,
it's good. You got to mix it up. No, it's good. I like it.
Exactly right. Yeah. The anagram to my first name's not as pleasant, so let's go with love.
Okay.
There you go.
Hey, Lovely. What about the good news though? Mitch coming on board. What a talented artist.
Yes.
But he also follows the Mighty Bombers, mate.
Oh, there we go.
It's about time. It's about time. Also understands the finer things in life in another genre. Oh, he's even got
the flag.
It's already my favourite. Oh, look at this.
We're hunting those tigers now. Watch out.
Absolutely. Don't
worry about the tigers, mate. The demons are on the way, so come and follow us.
They're done. They're already
the
done,
good
mate.
part is no one really hates us. No one really hates us because we haven't done any damage to anyone yet.
Yeah, don't worry. True. You keep carrying on like you do, mate, and we'll start hating the Melbourne Football Club pretty soon.
We're just talking about Mitch and the early part of his life and career, and Beatles being a massive influence as a youngster, as one of his first memories of music. So, I was just saying it, not a bad place to start with the Beatles. as we all know.
I've got so many questions to ask Mitch if that's the case too, because I love the Beatles, as Aaron and Cuz know. So,
right, well, let's kick off with one of those, Lovey. Over to you.
Oh, geez, okay,
On the spot. Put you on the spot.
Yeah, I know. I could go with a real Dorothy Dixer. Have you got a favourite studio album from the Beatles, Mitch? Like one that absolutely stands out?
Yeah, I'm a White Album boy. Yep.
Are you?
100%. Yeah. I keep coming back to it. I even had it on again last week. Something about it. I don't know.
I still find Mystery Tour was my favourite for some reason.
Oh, good on you. That's not one that you usually hear. So that's cool.
No, Magical Mystery Tour for me was the one for me. So sorry, there might be some background noise. I think my kid's about to put his forward drive through the ball, but I think
which wall, mate, so we can look to see it coming. We can warn you.
Mate, those jumpers behind me will no longer be present. So, Magical Mystery Tour for me is my favourite one. Which is, I know it's hard to pick one.
Do you find with them, Mitch, when you listen to the Beatles and write your own music and in your music writing process, and it's a tough gig, obviously, but do you try to emulate, obviously, Lennon and McCartney are two of the greatest songwriters of all time, but do you try to sort of think how they try to think when you put your music in a place?
Not really. They were so complex. They were just on another level. And like I did hear a few people say, "Oh, gee, I can hear some Beatles influence in some of my songs," and I think that's just, going from major to minor chords in a few little bits and pieces. But that's about as complex as I get. They were on another level. But to try and emulate them and sound like them, it's pretty tricky thing to do, I would think. Yep.
I mean, they're too hard trying to do it.
Yeah, I just really, really honed in on trying to keep things as simple as I could, and it worked a treat. Obviously, especially using session musos to help record. But if the song was 4 chords, that was it. That was great. Tried not to put too much into it, and I think, it's all the more better for it on the other side. So I don't know. I think that's that's where I'm at with my songwriting. Just keep it simple, stupid. That's what I say. Yep.
But mate, listen to that song before, and listen to a couple of other songs that I've heard when I said you're coming on board. You spoke about, Aaron said he saw you do some Tom Petty covers and that, and I listen to his music. And that song that you sang before, I love listening to songwriters who tell a story in their songs.
Yep.
Listening to your music, I don't want to use the words easy listening, but it's easy to listen to because you're telling a story. Like a couple of my favourite artists, like people like Neil Diamond, those sort of people who every one of their songs, there's a story behind the song. And that's what I love about your music too. You can hear there's a story. Like you spoke about how you came to writing that song and you told us the story, and then to hear it, you hear the story in the song. So to me, fantastic, mate, really good.
Yeah, those songs that like paint the picture in your brain, they're the ones that you go, oh, far out, that's an amazing song. Like, I don't know, you like listen to like Dylan's Hurricane or something, and you can actually, as he's telling the story, you're there, you're in the bar, you're seeing it in, I don't know what it is. Those sort of songs, but yeah, they're special. They're great.
Yeah, sure.
They sure are. And speaking of great songs and special ones, I reckon we hit you up for another one. Just to put you on the spot, mate.
Oh, getting through them. We're doing well. How about I play that one I just spoke about, his father's gun song?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Where it's like a kid steals his dad's, like he's getting bullied, and he decides he'll steal his dad's gun to kind of scare the kids that have been bullying him. But there's a bit of a twist in the story, and it sort of goes a little bit astray for him. So yeah, this is his father's gun. All right, I'll give it a crack. He was roaming the street like an only son, holding on tight to his father's gun, hiding in the shadows till the moment slips away. His best friend Jackie was by his side, the target of laughter all their lives. They only wished to see a smile start to fade. Heartbeat racing full of dread, remembering words his father said. Grips a little tighter till he feels it start to sway. Well, I guess he must have met the devil that night, showed him the ropes, the door, the light, whispered in his ear as he slowly backed away. And so it goes, when on that night the headlights turned, he was paralyzed. Finger on the trigger, now the edges start to fray. He took that thing right off his hip, he closed an eye and bit his lip. How the game changed with the pieces all in play. A corner dog, a dead-end street with no way out will bare its teeth. Never believed he would take a life away. Well, I guess he must have met the devil that night, showed him the ropes, the door, the light, whispered in his ear as he slowly backed away. So there he stood with a smoking gun. All he could do was turn and run. Not a moment would pass where he wouldn't rue the day. Well, that gun was kept under lock and key. They always do, they just break free. Don't you dare, you'd hear his father say. Well, those two boys never looked for fame. The whole town now would know their names. Nothing they knew would ever be the same. Then dig a little deeper and you'd find this boy is not the killing kind. A moment of madness, the lines had blurred to gray. Hey, hey, well, I guess he must have met the devil that night, showed him the ropes, the door, the light, whispered in his ear as he slowly backed away. So there he stood with a smoking gun. All he could do was turn and run. Not a moment would pass where he wouldn't rue the day. Not a moment would pass where he wouldn't rue the day. Yeah, not a moment would pass where he wouldn't rue the day. His father's gun.
Very good, mate. Very good. That was excellent.
Absolutely brilliant.
Awesome, guys. Thank you.
It was, oh, mate. It was when you close, when a lot of people do this, I presume, but when you close your eyes and hear the song, it was very much like Paul Kelly for me. And
oh, yep.
I could sit back and listen to that for hours. It was really good, and I can drink like that for hours too. mixed up. I'm quite thirsty right now, actually, since I was late. I even forgot to get myself a drink. But one little question I've got, and we always, all of our guests, I've noticed all our musical guests, when they come on, we get them to play something acoustic, like on guitar and all the rest of it. I need to ask, how many other instruments do you know? Are you proficient in other instruments, whether it's the drums or whatever the case may be? It's fascinating. We get the guitar out, but I'd love to see a massive drum solo. Can you do drums, or what's the go for you, mate?
I get on the drums at band practice, and the drummer just shakes his head at me, and he has a bit of a giggle. They let me on every now and then when the drummer will go grab a drink, and I'll jump on. But that's about it. No. For me, it's just the guitar, electric guitar, and a little bit of harmonica. That's it for me.
Okay. Yep. Are we getting a harmonica later on, are we?
There's one more with a harp. Yeah, I threw it in early, but I've got one more. I can chuck it in.
No, I know. I missed that train. That's cool. But I'd love to see a drum on this potty one night. It'll be a big
Well, we had Brett Wolferton on an early episode, and we didn't get him on the kit, but we've also we've got another couple of potential drum solo drummers coming up. So hold that thought, mate, for another show. You just never know.
Cool.
But Mitch, well, just as obviously speaking about guitar, and obviously that's been the instrument for you that you picked up, but obviously being able to play the harmonica as well. And they seem to go hand in hand with a lot of guitarists, especially in the folk, country, blues space. When did you decide that the guitar was really for you? And obviously then you went to progress that. So when was your earliest moment of hitting the guitar and then taking that seriously?
Not seriously, but like grade 5, 6 was like, acoustic guitar, playing carols for the old people's home at primary school. But then it didn't really hit me till maybe 15 again. I reckon I put it down for a little while, didn't really play it a lot. But, did my paper round and saved up my money and bought my first electric guitar maybe when I was about 14 or something. And, then I don't know, just played it a little bit, and I think I discovered like Metallica or something, and then it was on. Then it was on big time, and then schoolwork just suffered badly, and I couldn't stop bloody playing the thing all night long, and it just went from there. And I always had an acoustic guitar, so a bit of both. My dad was into his guitar, and I'd go at the shed and jam along with him, or I'd find his old chord books and stuff with songs he'd written down. And that's really where I probably learnt the most, because he'd write out an old, I don't know, song by America or something, or, a Neil Young song, or, it might be Powderfinger or something. And I'd go, I know that song. And you'd pick up the book and it says C and E minor and G, and I'd just play along. I think that's how I got my head around, song formations and chords and playing along. So that was really
what I like about that, mate, it was like me with my first cricket bat, my first pair of footy boots and footy. When you buy your own one as a teenager first, it's the one you love the most, and it was the one you take up the most. And
I've still got that. I've still got my first acoustic, my first electric. I've still got them. I can't throw them away.
I've still got my first cricket bat back at mum and dad's house. It's had about 6,500 linseed oil rubs on it. It's the footy. I don't know. I lost the footy somewhere, but it's always special as a kid when you buy your first one, and that becomes your passion pretty quick. I reckon I like it.
Yep. So
your first gig, Mitch. Not your first gig, but the first gig you attended. What was your first major act or show you went to?
My parents took me to a Jethro Tull concert.
Oh, there you go, man. Awesome.
Pretty full on.
Mate, big time, mate. Watch out. At Concert Hall, 1993, 94. That was, I think, that was my first big one. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. And
hang on. So I've heard the Beatles, Metallica, Jethro Tull,
Yeah.
Can't wait for the rest of this show coming up.
I wasn't allowed to. I wasn't allowed to go to Calder Park to see Guns N' Roses, so that was the next thing, you know.
Oh, you missed out. Yeah, you missed out. That's my favourite.
Yeah, I think the great part is diversity in your music train and collection, no doubt, Mitch. But what moved you into that country kind of feel? What age was that? Did you say? And then obviously that's been your genre that you're in now.
Yeah, so mid-20s, and then I don't know. So the country rock band I'm in is called The Distance, and we're pretty busy around from like 2006 through to 2009, 10, 11, 12, around there. And we still rehearse weekly. We're still the same bunch of guys, and we're still at it, and which is really cool. It's like been, I don't know, what's that, 16, 17 years or something. It's amazing. Yeah,
fantastic.
And great bunch of blokes. And just in that world, and probably that guy, where is he? There, that guy, Kevin Bennett. I don't know if you know Kevin Bennett. So I fell in love with his band and his songwriting and everything about what they do. I don't know. So just fell in love with that. That was a big influence. I reckon that really pushed me into that genre even more. I don't know. It was always there. Like I'd always listened to Neil Young. I'd always had all that stuff running all the time. So it wasn't a big jump. And these days, I'm probably listened to, I got into Ryan Adams a lot. I got into right into Jason Isbell, all that stuff now. I guess that those songwriters that they don't need drums and stuff around them. They can just stand there with a bloody guitar and play a song, and it's amazing. I love hearing those. Love hearing those guys. Yeah,
absolutely. Outside of those two, your latest listen, have you got one for us that you've come across in this lockdown kind of 1, 2, or 3? You must have come across something.
I probably don't have anything to spruik about, but I know that there is Gary Lewis has got an album coming out in 2 days. I'm hanging for that.
Right.
Big Jayhawks fan. And Lucas Nelson's got one coming out in about a week and a half too. So I can't wait for that because I'm a huge fan of both those guys. So keep an eye out for those if you like I don't know, that sort of music. Yeah,
and keeping busy. Obviously, I don't know. I'm not sure whether this was one in the making pre-COVID days, but your new album that came out in 2020, Holding Back The Levee. Has it been a work in progress for a while, or what's been the why did you drop it in the middle of 2020?
Yeah, good question. I felt like it was. I don't know. I thought it was a really good time to actually drop it. I think a lot of people had time to listen.
Yep.
And I wasn't phased with touring. So I was like, let's just do it. Let's just put it out. And it worked great. I felt like there was a good buzz around it. Everyone, a lot of people heard it. Reviews were written, all that sort of stuff. I got out of it everything I wanted to. And like you said, you got time at home to help promote it and stuff because I don't do this obviously full time. It worked well for me.
Yeah, awesome because it's for me it's been a good listen. Obviously I didn't find out about you at that time, and to be honest there was a lot of online listening that was happening and streams and all sorts of things and artists I hadn't come across during part of Isolate. I'm not sure if you came across any of the Isolate sessions that got up to about 30 or 40 or more sessions, which artists from all around the place, which was fantastic to have. At one point it was a weekend and then it kind of turned in every day at one stage. It was fantastic to have, and there was Delivered Live and there was a few others. So online streaming kind of wasn't your buzz, obviously, by the sound of it, mate, but we've broken that barrier tonight, and hopefully during this next period you can maybe throw a couple of live sessions out. But I wanted to touch on one thing that I think you do uniquely is this little stuff, the Tiny Shed concerts, mate. Tell us a little bit about this concept and how that came about and what it offers.
I don't know. You see like Tiny Desk concerts, which are pretty famous. I thought I'd do Tiny Shed concerts, So I've got a little music shed in my backyard. That's where I do all my demos, and it's seriously a 3x3 box. Yep. And I've soundproofed it and just got like a microphone and Pro Tools in there and whatnot. And I thought, why don't we just I don't know. I thought it'd be a good concept just to play a song in a 3x3 box. Probably won't sound too good. But yeah, I don't know. That's as simple as it gets. One mic, one guitar, and that's it. Yeah.
When was the last episode you put out?
I did one the other day actually, but I haven't promoted it. I did a Lucas Nelson song about 5 days ago. I think I put one up there, but I'd love to do like a properly sit there and maybe get a whole series, or invite. My initial idea was to invite other artists to come and play a song in there and actually make it a series of different people. Yeah,
it's going to be a little bit tougher with the social distancing factor that we're about to come across again. Good mate of ours on the show came across. Intimate partner. You can always get away with that.
Partner. You get away with that. Mitch, you'll be right. Just call him your intimate partner, whoever it might be.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, good friend of the show, and we've had on a couple of times. Dave Cosma had a great kind of lockdown concept and went out into the garage and sat in the back of his EJ Holden and live streamed gigs from inside the back of the EJ, and then invited a couple of guests in with him, and then social distancing came in, so they had to open the door and put the drum kit on the outside, and all those kind of things happened, mate. So it's good to see you've got a little unique concept going there, and I think there's a couple of great ones I found and recently and have listened to, mate. So keep that up and keep putting them out.
Yeah, I will do. I'll keep having a try. Obviously, I haven't got up the courage to do the live stuff, but if you do it in the shed, if you stuff it up, you can start again. But yeah,
absolutely, mate.
If the stuff you do in the shed's anything like the 2 songs you gave us tonight, mate, you'll do just fine, Mitch.
All right, good on you, Cuz. I love you, mate. You're a sensational.
Don't fall into Cuz's crap.
Mate, what every guest we have on the show, I like to ask them the same question. You're hosting a dinner party. Now you can invite 5 people to the dinner party. Who are the 5 people you're going to invite?
Mum and dad are a given, or your family's a given, so it's non-family.
Yeah. So it can be living or dead. It's whoever you want to invite. It's your gig.
You want to make it pretty eclectic, don't you? So the conversation rolls. So could you bring in a Dave Chappelle, and then throw in I don't know. Or can I bring Paul McCartney? He's still around, so grab him while I can.
Yep.
They can be living or dead.
Living or dead, mate.
Oh, living or dead. Gee, that opens it right up.
Sure does.
Gee whiz. Oh, can I just invite like Roger Waters and Dave Gilmore at the same table? That'd be sensational.
Yep.
Do you want to hit one on then?
Yeah, I'd like to see that because they'd blow up and go at each other, and it'd be fantastic.
Not a lot of love lost there, is there, really?
No. Did you see Roger's post yesterday?
No.
Nope.
No.
Oh, gee. Yeah, he's they're re-releasing Dogs from 1977, and they got some liner notes written, and Roger sort of is a bit swayed towards Roger being like the whole megalomaniac that he is, but the others wouldn't agree to him releasing the notes. So he's gone, all right, fine, I won't put the notes in the record. But then he's posted them on his social media and said the other guys are basically assholes because they won't let me put this in the record. And he's had a few digs, so yeah, it's going to be on now.
Fantastic,
nice,
that's awesome. Who's your last one?
Who's your last one?
Oh, let's just bring in James Hird. Why not?
Nice.
Nice. Yeah.
Let's go. But you know, the interesting thing about it, Mitch, we've had, as Aaron and Lovey will attest to, we've had some wonderful guests on, male, female, all walks of life, musicians, musos, all parts. I don't think one of the guests we've had have said their spouse at any stage that they're not bringing the better half to dinner. That she or he's not coming. The kids never get a mention. Ones that've got kids, they don't come either.
No.
Well,
you said family, so I just wiped them all out. That was it.
Lovey wiped them out tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. They're sitting at the table the 6 other days of the week, so why would you want them there the 7th day? They don't need to be there.
There you go.
Very cool.
And a quick shout out to a good mate of ours, Berkey, who's normally on the show. Was busy tonight, sadly, with work, which is great that he is busy with work, but couldn't make the show. So he sends his love and thinks you're sounding great, Mitch. So he's a big fan. Also to let you know,
she's got internet connection when he's working.
He has got internet connection. Also to let you know, a mate of ours from Canada's jumped on and said g'day, Robert Wine, and so we're going truly global, mate, right now. So not to make you a little bit more nervous with your live
no
stream.
pressure, mate.
That's all good. That's all
right. Going great. So we might hit you up for just one more, mate.
Yep. Did you want? So there's one more in mine, or did you want a cover song, or where are we at?
Okay. Well, I'm going to be really greedy there and hit you up for 2 more then. Is that all right? let's hit. Because the reason I don't want to, I definitely want to have a cover in there, but I want to be greedy enough to put your music out too, mate, because I can't limit it at the 2. And I need to get one more in for Lovey because he missed the start, so he's got to watch it back.
You just tell me how you're going for time. Like if we're gone too late, I can do whatever you want me to do.
No, we're good
just
for
on
now.
That. Just on
and
that,
I am
Mitch,
being good.
This is one of the 6 nights you're meant to have dinner with your family. Have you had dinner already with the family before we get greedy?
Yeah, I have. Yes. Yeah.
You've eaten. Okay.
Yeah.
Lovey normally comes on with the. Lovey normally comes on with a red wine and fish and chips or something and just eats in front of us, mate. So don't feel bad for him.
don't feel he's being rude. It's just his normal behaviour.
20 minutes. Yes. I'm on a diet. There's no food there tonight in front of me. That's why.
Correct.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right, Mitch. Over to you.
I'm playing a song. Okay. Yeah, I am playing it. I'll just check the tune. I'm doing a drop G song. Open G. Sounds all right? Not quite. There we are. All right. This one, another one off the new album. So, why we drove that night, I still don't know why. I play it over again. Through thunder and rain, just you and me, Jane. A picture no one could forget. And to fade on us now, I'm hearing the sound. A car moving over the edge. Through flashing headlights, we fell through the night. Our story has come to an end. As the wheel tries to make its fight, I let it go as I close my eyes. So let me drift here for a while. Just one moment with your smile. If this is a dream, please don't wake me from my sleep tonight. It's the bit where I realise I forgot to put my harmonica on. When I'm walking through town, I hear voices so loud, eyes are burning, holes in my head. And your dad so world when he lost his girl, it drove him back to the bottle again. Sometimes I still see your mom. I know it's so hard. I remind her what can't be said. We don't know what to say, so we both turn away in emotion, so full of regret. As the wheel tries to make its fight, I let it go, so I close my eyes. So let me drift, yeah, for a while. Just one moment with your smile. If this is a dream, please don't wake me from my sleep tonight. I let it slip in that roadside final dance. Let it sway in the trees as you slip right through my hands. Just imagine a harp solo here, okay? So let me drift, yeah, for a while. Just one moment with your smile. If this is a dream, please don't wake me from my sleep tonight. So let me drift, yeah, for a while. Just one moment with your smile. If this is a dream, please don't wake me from my sleep tonight. There it is. Sorry.
There you go.
Fantastic, mate.
I can tell you one thing. It would have been beautiful with the harp, mate, but it really didn't need it. And with that, mate, really, really great words once again in that one. There's no doubt storytelling, as we discussed during this show, is one of your strengths, mate. That's for sure. Super. I really felt part of that.
I feel like that's like a poor man's cousin to like Pearl Jam's Last Kiss or whatever it's called. You know?
Yes.
Like the car crash song, you know, like I didn't quite nail it. But.
Well, I can tell you, a good mate of mine, Sam Trapolino over in Adelaide, is very much now a Mitch Dean fan, mate, as he's just posted the comment. So it's fantastic. And going back to Canada,
fantastic.
And Canada's wrapped that it's an early start for them, mate, 7 a.m. So you've kicked off the day beautifully for them, mate. You're sounding awesome over there. So there you go. Over in Ottawa, Canada.
Oh, beautiful.
Mate, that was fantastic. Mitch, that was a great song.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. That's cool.
Just really on cool. That, I think you talked about, you know, artists we've had on before, Ash Naylor and Luke Sinclair and a few others recently. I can tell you now, mate, and I know you probably won't back yourself, but we'd put you in that company any day, mate. And I hope to. I know you don't do a lot of gigs, mate, and you're not really out there at the moment. But I really hope in the next 12 months you can get time to get out there in amongst your day job, as you know, it's not easy to be a full-time muso, that's for sure, and earn a living. So luckily you don't have to do that as a full-time gig. Would you like to, mate, as you get into the latter half of your life?
No, look, I think at the moment, like my girls are 11 and 8, and they are just, you know, they're awesome fun. I love all the stuff. I've just loved being there for all their sport and you name it. I think I've, you know, turned a corner with obviously, your life and your priorities and all that sort of stuff. And I just look forward so bad to the weekends and seeing them shine. And I think at the moment I'm just about keeping the flame flickering through. I know that I won't always be doing that with the girls. There'll be a time where they don't probably want me around as much. So it's just about keeping the music, keeping it bubbling until a time where I might have some more time up my sleeve, down the track. So yeah.
I was just going to ask Aaron. Sorry, Aaron, if that's all right. I was just going to ask your next steps with this, with music, particularly given we're in Victoria. No gigs, and it sounds like you don't do a lot of gigs. Do you have the propensity over the next 12 months to potentially even start writing for another album? Like, would you look to pump out another album or two over the next year or two?
Yeah, that's definitely on my radar at the moment. I mean, so we're looking to record with the Distance on AEST. Our album's rehearsed, ready to go. We just got to push record and start getting into it. So I'll be into that as well. But I sort of look ahead, and I still want to, keep the Mitch little solo thing in some way or form bubbling along. So I'll look to do something later on this year or early next year or something. So yeah,
beautiful.
I'll be back at it some way if I can.
Sounds great.
Beautiful.
Just send me. Anyone got 10 grand, 20?
Yeah. Yeah, well, definitely throw the bucket around, that's for sure. And if ever we can help get the word out there, mate, we'll do it on our little tiny little show here. I know that's for sure. And we've found definitely a couple more fans. We just got to get them to buy albums and put the money back in yours pocket. Most importantly. So we met by sheer luck, to be honest, and I probably never would have come across the name Mitch Dean and gone to a Mitch Dean gig as such without hearing some of your music. But it was sometimes what a lot of musos do is play covers, and that's what pays the bills sometimes. And I know you picked probably one of my top 5 artists of all time to go and play a Tribute Tuesday gig at Drunken Poet in North Melbourne before, in a period of after lockdown 1 or 2, I can't remember what it was, but we just got a couple of gigs in there, and it was a Tom Petty show, mate. So just tell us, a little bit about that and Tom Petty for you, and obviously a massive influence for you.
Well, for starters, I penciled that gig in because I just wanted to get myself motivated to start singing, and get a bit more match fit to go and play some gigs for my own songs. So I went, all right, I'll go and it forces you to sort of get off your butt and start rehearsing a bit and singing. And, I'm not a natural singer, so it's not my forte, but I have to work at it before gigs. I have to sort of rehearse up a bit. So yeah, that's why I penciled that in. And I do love him. I do love all his songs. And because he writes simple songs, so they're good. They're easy to play. Go and do cover gigs with. Yep. He doesn't overcomplicate it, and he's a great storyteller and all that sort of stuff too. So that's how I got into doing that. I've done that a couple of times with Tom's stuff. So just when you do that stuff too, you learn. Like, I'm also the guys that I play in the Distance with. We also do a Springsteen show. Right. So, and we travel all around Victoria, and that's a 7-piece band. And so when I say I don't play gigs, I do.
I play solo gigs. Yep.
Probably turns out that I do, but and so again, that was a big learning curve. Learning all of Springsteen, like we've learned about 60 of his songs. So you just learn so much by obviously playing all these other guys, these great, amazing songwriters, but you learn a lot, and it rubs off, I think, too. So there's something in that, something to be said for that anyway. I know we don't go around saying we're a tribute band. We don't dress up or anything. We just do the songs of, and we all just come out dressed up in black. And it's a cool show too. It's a really cool show. Yeah.
I can't help but think that actually holds a bit more credibility if you don't try and dress up like them. It's
that was my rule. I think at the start, I'm like,
I cringe at that stuff.
We're not called it. And it's is it like suicide? Like you don't want to mention that you do probably that stuff when you're doing original music, but I don't know. It's been very beneficial as well to our original band as well. So it's it lifted us all up musically. Our musicianship went another few levels again from doing that. But we don't usually spruik about it. But I am proud of that band. It's an amazing band. Yeah,
awesome.
We've been to see a couple of guys who I actually went to school with a couple of them. They do it's called American Made, and they do Springsteen, Tom Petty, and who's the other one I've got to think now? Who's the other guy they do?
John Cougar.
And it's the same thing. And like I've been to see them a couple of times, and it's fantastic. And they love it too. And it's just like you. They don't do the gimmicky dress up. It's good music, and they're good musicians, and they play good music.
It helps fund our original band, so that's why we just put it all in a kitty a lot of the time, and or while it was help fund my album while I was doing those gigs too. So that's what you got to do sometimes. Yep. Yeah,
sure do. Just a quick question from one of our viewers jumping on, Mitch. Who would your ultimate collaboration to work with would be? Who would you like to join up with if you could play one album or record one session with?
Oh man,
tough.
It's tough. What do you do? Do you
back to that dinner table, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it could be. Can I just go with can we just collaborate with Mick Jagger or something? I don't know. Look,
there you go.
Oh, look, it would have been a long time now. I would have said Chris Robinson for a lot of that. Someone like him, or even Gary Lewis. I don't know. These guys, they're amazing. There's plenty that I'd love to do that with. That's for sure.
And just tell us quickly, last night's guest we had on, Ryan Sterling, mentioned a story about that. So just tell us quickly about that. And you thought you might have even been there.
Yeah, so Ryan, I was watching last night the show, obviously, and Monday, and he said that he met Chris Robinson, and because he went and saw Chris Robinson Brotherhood, and I was thinking I would have been standing right next to him because he would have been at the back of the corner hotel, and I was right there too, meeting Chris and getting my photo and all that sort of stuff. And not the first time I've met Chris, by the way. I followed the Black Crows around the country back in 2008. But yeah, I thought that was quite funny that I almost wanted to go and look through my photos and I'll be like, hey mate, that's you there, I'm sure he's in my photos, It's
fantastic. All right, well, anyone that doesn't know Mitch, this is the latest album, Holding Back The Levee. If you haven't heard it, we've heard a couple of songs from him tonight and it's an absolute ripper. Also jump on mitchdean.com.au and pick yourself up a tee, most importantly. Tribute to this album, no doubt, and we look forward to catching up with you again, mate. So we really appreciate your time. I know we're going to hit you up for one more. The influence behind this cover for you, and why have you picked this one?
Look, this one popped into my head last week that I was like, I really want to learn this song. It's called Elephant by Jason Isbell, and it's an amazing song. It is so simple, but it's a song about he's singing about a lady who's dying of cancer, and the elephant is the elephant in the room that they don't want to talk about it. They're skirting around. She's dying, but they're and he's. So it's a really sad song. I just love it. I couldn't stop playing it, and then I thought when you guys said come on, I was like, maybe I'll try and play it on the end of the show. So
perfect. We appreciate that.
Beautiful. Sounds great.
I've never played this song. I've only just run over it, obviously, in my own time a few times. Anyway, it's an amazing song. Anyway, have a listen to the words. It's fantastic. It's called Elephant. I've got to tune that. Hang on, I can't play it without that being E string being out of tune. It was just okay. Here we go again. It's live. It's all live. She said, Andy, you're better than your past. Winked at me and drained her glass. Cross-legged on a bar stool like nobody sits anymore. She said, Andy, you're taking me home. But I knew she planned to sleep alone. I'd carry her to bed, sweep up the hair from the floor. If I fucked her before she got sick, I'd never hear the end of it. She don't have the spirit for that now. We drink our drinks and laugh out loud and bitch about the weekend crowd. Try to ignore the elephant somehow. Somehow. She said, Andy, you crack me up. Seagrams in a coffee cup. Sharecropper eyes, her hair almost all gone. When she was drunk, she made cancer jokes. Made up her own doctor's notes. Surrounded by her family, I saw she was dying alone. So I'd sing her classic country songs and she'd get high and sing along. But she don't have much voice to sing with now. We'd burn these joints in effigy and cry about what we used to be. Try to ignore the elephant somehow. Somehow. I buried her 1,000 times and given up my place in line, but I don't have the give damn for it now. There's one thing that's real clear to me. No one dies with dignity. We just try to ignore the elephant somehow. We just try to ignore the elephant somehow. We just try to ignore the elephant somehow. Somehow, somehow. Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me on. Been really cool.
Thanks, Mitch. Absolutely fantastic.
If there wasn't guys out there like you, lift us. It's fantastic just to meet some guys that are so into obviously the music and what's behind it. So it's really, really cool to talk to you blokes. Thank you.
We really appreciate you coming on, Mitch. Everyone, that was episode 37 with, I can tell you now, a superstar. You might call it simple, mate, but it was really, really poignant comment that a friend of ours from Canada just posted. I just want to read this to you, mate. Simple. Look at it from his perspective. He's physically disabled, sees double, has a brain injury. Trust me, it's not simple to him. So
there you go.
Don't take for granted, mate, your incredible talent. You're a talented guy. We need you out there more, mate. And I can tell you now, you got at least a couple of new fans from tonight. And that's what it's about, mate. Keeping smiles on faces and giving people hope, and you've definitely been able to do that during lockdown, mate. And that's why we got you on to have a chat. So we really appreciate it and hope to get you back. And we look forward to seeing you on a stage soon. And I can tell you now, mate, 3 of us will definitely be at your next gig.
Beautiful, and we'll come to all your bands too, mate. You, your single, the country band, and the cover band as well.
And then we'll go to the footy, cuz. All right.
The Bombers, yes.
There you go. All right.
We'll have to sit Cuz. Good, mate. To sit Cuz in front of us, though. That's all right. All good.
Good on you, Cuz.
I love it. Yes. You will be back on the show sooner rather than later, Mitch. Thanks for coming on, mate. Absolutely fantastic.
All right.
We'll see you soon. Cheers, Mitch.
All right.
Thanks,
see
mate.
you guys.
Thanks,
Cheers.
Good man. See you, mate.
Bye-bye.
Mate, how good was that? Hey, what a superstar. He is a genuine superstar, mate. He may not call himself one, but I can tell you now, we think he is. And I'm just captivated every time I hear. It was just really good that he's had a good setup too. So it paid homage to that good. He doesn't even think he's got a good voice. I mean, that's how modest he is. So.
But as you said, Lovey, you made a really good point. Sorry, mate. You made a really good point when you said, and I did it to the second song he played, Close Your Eyes and Listen to It. He is such a storyteller. Just so easy to listen to his music. And he is so humble about it, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. I think what he understands what he gives us. When he says, thank you and for this platform, all the rest of it, I think it can work the other way as well. And I think Aaron summed it up nicely for me in that it sounds to me like we're helping each other. The help's going both ways. We're helping him. That's how he feels. But I think if more people jump onto shows like this and just chill out for an hour, don't probably ignore us through it, but just listen to the man, listen to their music, and you'd be amazed as to how much better you probably feel after that. That's what they do. That's what all these musicians do when they come on. It's why we do it. It's brilliant. Yep,
sure is. And just to let you know, guys, what's coming up shortly, obviously this Sunday, we're doing another one with Eric Collier, who we had on a while ago, and his duo band called No Promises, bit of country as well, and so that'll be great. We're changing the vibe a little bit, and next Wednesday night, I just announced before he came on, Lovey, that James, the Hound Dog Young that owns the Cherry Bar, is going to come on and have a chat, who's Melbourne's new nightmare. Nice. Obviously been very, very outspoken, defending and promoting, most importantly, music and venues, and really pushing for the fact that they should be open and given an opportunity. So I cannot wait for that chat.
Broad shoulders. Yeah, he's got my broad shoulders if he needs them. It just get all these musicians back out there as soon as we can.
Definitely. And boys, we will leave it at that till this Sunday afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Beautiful. See you, lads. Well done. Good show.
Let's get through it. See you guys.
He's wrapped it up for you. Well done, guys.
Thank you.
All right. See you guys.